Guys, I'm fighting it.
It's fun while it lasted.
I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it. The accountability thing plays in, and then I go, if they're 3-9 now, what's it going to do? I mean, what's the bloodlust really going to do? Like, I'm fighting it right now. I usually I know what I want to say after these things. I'm fighting like I told you. There comes a time where I'm not going to sit there, and I don't want to turn into one of these old radio guys who just dump on everything and become cynical about everything, and then anything good happens, I'm not even going to pretend to enjoy it because all I do is live in my own misery. I don't know how you go through. I don't know if you go through this. This is just what I go through emotionally any time these losses happen. But at the same time, I also don't want to turn into somebody who becomes apathetic towards this and just stands by and just whatever, it happens, because again, I think that having a pro football team is a special thing. Having pro sports is a special thing, and people deserve to have their pro sports and deserve to have a team that they like. And this is just not likable right now. It is the blind leading the blind. And everything has an explanation or an excuse of something that's just, it's like the best way I drive it in to describe it, to put it in any terms of business. The results aren't there, and we keep finding these ways to say it's better than what we think it is, and it's not. You're 3-9. I don't know what to do. Do we know about the UCLA job yet? Because that might be a conversation we have to have later on today or tomorrow. We'll see how that one goes. I'm fighting it. I found myself more angry at you last night than I did anything else, and I said, that's a problem. That's a real problem, because I felt that you didn't even care, and I saw your tweets, and I don't want to get in a fight with you over this, okay? They lost. You didn't lose. But I saw your tweets. I go, he's just trolling everybody. And everybody's tweeting me, go, come get your boy. And I go, he's clearly had a few drinks, and now he's just bothering all you guys, and you're allowing it to happen, and now I'm just mad at him because I have to answer for this. And I go, he's bored. You guys are bored. Why the hell should I care? And we're just saying things that aren't even realistic. We're saying things that aren't realistic. And so we'll do 4 hours of surreal stuff, and then we'll just march on and get ready for the next one. And the next one, they could actually win because it's Tennessee. I don't know if they will. It seems that everybody on their defense got hurt yesterday, but I'm sure I will talk myself into it, not us. I will talk myself into it by the time Wednesday comes around. And there we are. So there's plenty to get into. But now I'm at the point, we've reached this point where if I say, if you let go of anybody, what's it going to save? Well, then I'm making excuses for inept coaching. If I say, get rid of everybody, then what's that going to do as far as fixing any of this? Because you're 3-9. It's over. The season is done. The only thing that I'm trying to do is evaluate whether or not you got a quarterback, whether or not you got several other positions. Jerry Jeudy and his next meltdown, which seems like it's coming any moment. All that stuff is still there. But as far as we got to get rid of this guy or cut that guy to save the season, there ain't nothing to save. There ain't nothing to save. And the whole conversation, if we would have started Shedeur sooner, I don't think that's realistic. So now I'm just stuck, handcuffed in this spot where you're 3-9. We're getting ready for the march. I got the envelope. I got the list right here. I'm just getting ready for it to all happen.
Yeah, it's
because
funny.
There's just nothing more that you can do about this.
And just kind of scanning some of the opinions nationally, they're just assuming your head coach is getting fired at some point. That's just the assumption. And then there's a lot of questions about Andrew Berry, whether or not they'd be tethered in that scenario. But I don't see a lot of people that think Stefanski is going to live through this. A lot of people just don't even think he wants Shedeur Sanders to begin with, that he doesn't feel like that there's clearly no. I mean, they basically yesterday only let Shedeur throw screen passes.
Well, what I don't understand is this: you can't. I mean, we'll turn it. I'm sure it always goes to a Shedeur discussion because he's the only guy we have to really look forward to anything to. So sorry, guys. I know that Carson Schwarzenegger's good and a couple other guys are good. But if they haven't proven it to you, if you don't even at least have decent quarterback play like we don't, we're dead in the water. We're just dead in the water. He didn't get enough practice, so you were nervous about him going in. they've seemed to try to take care of him the first couple of weeks. Now we're mad because we didn't let him throw the ball all over the yard yesterday. Guys, you got to pick a road. That's not the same thing. That's completely diametrically opposed to what you said last week. We got to remain honest about this, because when you turn them loose, you could say, guys, by the way, the out's right there. Your wide receivers are terrible. Your wide receivers are garbage. So you could look around and say, well, he's looking around, he can't find nobody. Hey, fair point. His wide receivers in the Big 12 were better than what he has in the pros. Maybe even his college wide receivers, apparently. And I'm not just talking about Travis Hunter, for crying out loud. So there is a reason, an actual reason to it. But you see when he puts everything, and I think he got caught in this moment, and maybe you feel differently. He's trying to throw a touchdown on every pass. And I know I've said that about other quarterbacks on this football team before, which sucks because now I just have to keep repeating myself because history repeats itself. But you saw that, like, they were sitting there, and I'm listening to Nathan and Andrew, and Nathan's like, we gotta pass. You're down 2 scores. You got to pass. And I'm like, yeah, you got to pass. But now he's just trying to throw a touchdown on every single one because these guys aren't open. He's not seeing the whole field. There's not a lot of experience there. And if you keep everything in front of you, you can conduct an offense. But if you have to come back from behind, you're going to put each other in a bad spot. And that's what they did. Everybody put each other in a bad spot. Well, excuse me. I don't think the defense put anybody in the bad spot. Special teams is as bad as I've ever seen. You have actual football coaches going, what are the lanes here? Coach Lance, what are these lanes that they're in? This is not what you coach. So I don't know what the hell Bubba Ventrone's doing here, except he has a nickname that people seem to like. Other than that, I don't think it's going to fix anything. Even by firing the guy, what's it going to fix? Other than it's going to make you feel a little bit better. See, that's where I'm stuck at.
Oh, they missed.
You've reached the point past accountability,
They've
Tone.
Had this like the 3rd or 4th game special teams just cost them.
You're right.
They missed that.
You're right.
We had the accountability discussion, and all I heard from so many people was, well, what does it do? What does it do? What does it do? What does it do?
It could have done something back there. It can't do anything now.
Like
you were right.
This is the team that never benches, cuts, or fires anybody.
You were right.
That has any direct impact on games, and so nobody takes it seriously. And so now we're to the point where the only thing I could think of was that ownership would call down to either the GM or the coach and say, are you getting rid of this guy or not? Because that was humiliating. That was the special teams plays that you're just not seeing around the league. Like, yeah, you see muff punts, but guys that don't know whether they're supposed to have the foot planted out of bounds or not seems to be a pretty textbook thing. We had a former defensive coordinator that was on it when it came to that.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought. Like, Jimmy Haslam has seen that play. And at least, what did you think? Did you think he was kind of fumbling in his mind?
Which one? Giving up punt returns to Sky Moore, the one at the 5-yard line? Are you talking about? Because you could take your pick of bad special teams, and you could take your pick of bad special teams all throughout the game. So what, you want to go through what was in his? I think it looked like he lost track of where the hell he was.
Well, on the radio,
did he think he had like 5 more feet to work with on the sideline?
Nathan was breaking it down that these guys are taught to have one foot out there, and he kind of got caught in the middle, like, oh, shoot, I was supposed to have my foot out, because then we would have gotten great field position, and instead we have the worst field position. And that was the one thing you can't have in that game, is really bad field position, because that just blows up an entire game in your face. So you saw the average starting field position for the two teams was totally opposite. So it was one team that was on top of special teams and the other that completely was not.
Yeah. Which then goes flies right in my face, where I got emotional about it. And when it comes to the 4th down, I wanted to go for the 4th down, but at the same time, like, your guys aren't even lined up. So you got guys who aren't even lined up. You had Harold Fan in there. Okay, you've done things with tight ends before. Other teams do things with other players taking snaps before.
Well, Fannin is involved in a lot of their short yardage stuff.
You're right, but they don't have anybody lined up, and you continue to run the play anyway. It becomes a cavalcade of errors. Then you give them the ball, and I'm thinking, well, if it is that much of a field goal, if it's a field goal, if it's a field position type of game, then did you not call the timeout because you didn't want to talk yourself out of going for it on 4th down? Is that it? Because there's no rules here. You could always call the timeout and then just go for it on 4th down. If you wouldn't have made it, it would have made it bad. But you know what? Still fumbling the snap and then giving them the ball at your 23-yard line wasn't going to be much better anyway. It was a 10-8 football game. You could have punted it out of there. It took them 9 plays to get into the end zone after that. It is fair to say you possibly would have stopped them and been able to force another punt instead of putting your defense back there at the 20. And then later on, when you're muffing punts and when you're catching the ball at the 5-yard line and stepping out of bounds, like Tone, let me say this again. You should do Champions Pose. You were right. See, this is the issue that I'm saying, and you crystallize it best, is that if you would have had accountability back there, like when November came around, you might have been able to, quote unquote, save something here. Now it's past the point of saving. So what good does it do to now have that accountability with 5 games left in the season? Just to make me feel better? Because I don't think it's going to make any bit of a difference on the field. Is it just going to make, like, you'll feel good about it on Monday if they were to go, hey, Bubba Ventrone's been let go. And then by Wednesday, you're going, what are we going to do against Tennessee? Like, it's not going to do anything. So you were right. You were so correct. And that's my problem. If I just say, what's it matter? Well, then, guys, you just don't care. No, I do care. I care way more than I probably should. And I think you do the same in so many ways. But, God, you were so right. If you just hold people accountable in October and November, you don't have this malaise that I feel on December 1st where I'm going, yeah, fire him. What are you going to do? Okay, Bubba Ventrone's gone. Is that going to solve your issues with your offense? Is that going to solve the other issues you have with your special teams? Is all of a sudden Gage Larvidan not going to fumble the ball, which I felt bad. He obviously felt terrible about it, so I didn't want to beat him up too much about it. It's just this whole thing that mixes in, and you're 3-9. And the worst part about it is that, guys, you look around the division and go, you know what? Nathan was right during the broadcast. If you played somewhat decent special teams, you might be right there in the thick of the AFC North right now.
Yeah, all-time bad division that could have been up for grabs for anybody. In fact, Cincinnati's only 2 games back. How incredible is that?
They're 4-8?
Like, this is just as bad as this. This was a dream come true. If I would have told you coming into the season that this was Pittsburgh's situation, this is Baltimore's situation, and this was the Bengals, and here they are completely out of it. No chance. Like, yeah, we're the only injection of energy at all was, hey, let's see what Orr has. But if the weather is going to be like this, and it seems like we have the worst weather games in the NFL for other than Buffalo for like the 10th straight year, which probably has something to do with them getting a dome. Because that wasn't exactly exciting, awesome, entertaining football yesterday, and very few of their games are. They drag other teams into the muck. They drag otherwise entertaining teams into really unwatchable football where it was a field position turnover game, and that was it. That was it. And then the 4th and 1, the only thing I guess I would ask is, I joked on Twitter that did Josina talk them into having to have Shedeur on the field? Because the whole point of the Wildcat with Judkins is that you have everybody blocking for one guy. In this case, Shedeur is out there, doesn't have to be accounted for when they see Fannin go under center.
Well,
and the other thing is, like, that's the thing when you don't have a veteran quarterback. Last week, if you remember during the Pittsburgh Steelers game, Aaron Rodgers, when he was on the bench,
I thought you were referencing something
he had mouthed, like, that's an illegal formation. Like, he could see that the Steelers had lined up wrong, and he mouthed illegal formation, and then the officials called it. In this case, you had Wyatt Teller, right, running onto the field late, 10 seconds left. That's just an automatic timeout. Like, I think a veteran quarterback or a good head coach that is on it is like, well, that's timeout. I know we don't like to use second-half timeouts, but that's the game. You're giving the team the ball at the 35-yard line. That's timeout. Like, we're not rushing this play. We've practiced it all week. I imagine they practiced that short yardage play at least 5 times, right? Is that when you do your special short yardage stuff? Are they doing that 5-10 times? So
I don't know how they block.
So like practices. A veteran quarterback or a coach that's on it is like, no, we don't have the right personnel. We're not messing with this. This is the game. And they didn't. He fumbled it. It didn't matter anyway. They were never getting the play. I was hoping they would look back and say, we didn't get the playoff. 5-yard penalty. Now we're forced to punt. Because that would have been the best option of all. Best outcome of all.
Well, then you still don't have your... Because I would like to say, well, then you still don't have your guys ready, which is still a failure on coaching. It was still a failure on coaching. I mean, it was... punting it out of there and then playing defense and maybe still getting the ball back at 10-8 would have been better than what happened. So you might have had to admit something there at the end, but if you would have won the game, it would have been a little bit easier on you because you were in a position where you could have won the game. Then you were in a position you could not win the game because you left it to special teams, and special teams let you down, and then you had to put a quarterback who's just not ready for that spot yet. Sorry, guys. He's not ready for that yet. You had to put him in a position where he had to try to throw a touchdown on every pass. He felt that way.